doing another live video here, and we're here meeting with Elizabeth, who is just finishing her postpartum period of healing here with us. It's our last visit until we meet again.
Yes.
And so we're going to share a little bit about her journey. She came into our care not quite immediately, but
pretty early, like 7 or 8 weeks.
Yeah, and I think you were dabbling a little bit between the OB care and midwifery care. Why did you decide to look into midwifery care, and did you know about midwifery care before you got pregnant?
Yeah, I knew about it before. I knew I wanted to be a mom, and so I had done quite a bit of research before I ever even got pregnant, and we planned our pregnancy, so I had the luxury of being able to, really put some thought into it. And mostly, I think childbirth is natural, and I didn't want to have a scary experience. And for me, hospitals are kind of scary. I don't like people telling me what to do with my body, things like that. And so I researched in Santa Clarita, and I found Tiffany, and the moment I met her, you touched my shoulder or something, and I could feel like my blood pressure go down. Mm-hmm. So I felt immediately at home and at peace, and so the decision was made like the moment I walked in the door and said hello to you. Like, I knew I was in the right place and doing what was right for my values and beliefs. And I remember my mom was saying, like, you're going too fast or something, and I'm like, no, you need to like get this locked down, because your support, if you can have a consistent support system through your whole pregnancy, right, it really helps with eliminating fear. And that was the theme of pregnancy, and labor preparation for me was just eliminating fear and changing my beliefs about birth. So,
right. And your family came in. If I remember correctly, your mom and your aunt came
yes.
to interview when you did your interview here. True. And there's family history, right?
Yes, and my family, and I thought this was normal, really, because I was born at home. My dad actually delivered me. It was meant to be a doctor, but circumstances arose that my dad delivered me. But it was a planned home birth, and then both of my cousins were born at home. My brother was born at home in my grandma's house. So it was normal for me, if my mom could do it, why couldn't I do it? And, after I learned about the way things progress in a standard protocol in a hospital with a birth, and that their motto is based on what can go wrong and fear, and, trying to avoid problems that probably wouldn't arise anyways, and the odds of it. So it was important to not be in that environment.
So you just decided to eliminate that out of your birth journey completely?
Yes, I knew if you put me in a building where there would be an epidural, like I'm human, like I needed to be removed from that possibility. So that was important. And I wanted to have the baby at home, but my husband had some fear about that with our first, and I had a little fear as well. So your facility being so close to the hospital was a really good compromise for us.
So we're, for all of you that don't know Pure Births or know me personally, we're about 1 to 2 minutes, probably maybe 2 minutes from our local hospital and NICU.
Yeah.
So
2 blocks.
Yeah, 2 blocks. So she's all 2 minutes and 15 seconds. We rarely need the hospital for any reason, but it is somewhat of a comfort.
Yes.
For some families deciding, okay, well, we're not quite doing the hospital, we're not quite doing home, we're going to meet in the middle, and we're going to decide to birth at a birth center. And so for some people, it feels safe to them to know that the hospital's down the street. And then also our EMT services, the ambulance services, are in our same building. So if we ever needed to call 911, they can literally walk a couple hundred feet, and they would be here. So that sets some families, stress level at ease. Although it's, we're working with low risk moms, so the likelihood of us needing to transport is usually pretty low.
Yeah.
So, but coming back, so let's fast forward. So you did almost your whole pregnancy here with us. We got to watch you come in not feeling so good all the way to the, to right now. But what was prenatal care for like here? I mean, you got a little bit of it at an OB's office, right? Because you went in for a couple appointments here and there.
Yeah, I did concurrent care with my OB through my regular insurance because that could be covered for some of the testing and stuff. So,
right.
And I was, I'm getting twice as much care, I might as well. I have this, insurance anyways. So, world of difference, it was very just like generic in the OB office. You can tell that you're just kind of on a assembly line with other moms. And here it was like you were creating a relationship. You have the opportunity to talk candidly and you could feel the love compared to OB care. And the OBs are great, the insurance that I have, and they were great and they were caring, but like I said, they're kind of operating on fear a little bit, and I have different beliefs in that, so my visits here were more in sync with like my own personal beliefs about birth and everything, so it was more like calming to my heart, like I would come in here versus if I went into that office, I usually walked away with fear. My first OB visit, for my first ultrasound at 7 weeks, my mom I brought with me, I bawled when I came out of there. The whole thing felt very invasive, and I forget what exactly happened, but I had a really horrible experience with that first visit. But I never felt that here, and I would have gladly not gone to those. I think the next time around, I obviously wouldn't be doing that. It was nice to have.
Yeah, you were able to use your insurance for some of the screenings and testings, and have that extra bit of care that maybe was a little bit settling for, especially for a first pregnancy. So that's understanding, and that's what made you feel safe. Yeah, and that's what matters.
And I think the process of doing that was actually kind of affirming of my decision. Yeah, because I was already educated when I went into those appointments because I had already seen you. And then I get to hear the flip side of what they would say coming from conventional care. And so I was protected with knowledge, having been here and already making decisions for myself about things. Right. And then seeing also how little they disclose with you. They don't have the time. It's not even that they don't want to. It's like the informed consent kind of stuff. Right. I saw that lacking in a lot of ways. And I wouldn't have even known to look for it other than I had educated myself, and you guys work more on that midwifery care. Focuses a lot more on
informed consent for everything. Sure. Yeah, every aspect of it. Inherent-led decisions. This is your baby. You are going to be the parents. This is your family that you're creating. Yeah, you have rights. What are your rights? And what do you feel safe choosing or declining? Yeah, accepting or declining the whole way. So tell me a little bit about going into labor and what your birth was like.
My birth was amazing.
Do you want to bring her over? You want Mama? Sure. Look at the travel gloves. You can.
Okay.
Oh, you go. She's gonna come over.
She might need a diaper change.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's for Bree loves to change diapers.
I don't mind one bit. And it's a girl, so I won't get squirted. I'm fine.
Hey, little lovers. Oh, she's like, I'm happy now. I got my mom.
So I had felt, towards the end of my pregnancy, I had like 2 weeks where I felt tired, more lazy than I ever have in my entire life, and really tired. And I was like, this sucks. I thought you were supposed to have energy at the end. And then I started getting some energy, and I sealed the tile in my bathroom that was newly tiled one night. Yeah. And then I thought I was going into labor that night, but it was so erratic, and I don't know why I was kind of fearless about it. It ended up being false labor. I slept on the couch, and next morning I woke up feeling great. Went to IKEA with my mom that day and was out and about all day long, walking around, tons of energy, had lunch out with her, came home. Our kitchen floor was being finished, the tile being laid that night, and I was back in that bathroom putting the second coat of sealer on our tile. And
you know what's interesting when you told me that story? My sister, Darla, with her, goodness, it was my niece, her first, she decided to pull out all the caulking in the bathtub and like re-caulk the whole bathtub right before she went into labor. So when you said that, I was like, oh my gosh, I know somebody else that's had the...
I almost feel like I got gypped though, because I thought I was going to clean my whole house, like based on what everyone told me.
Right.
I didn't know I was going to get stuck on like one little stupid project and just go crazy over it. But anyways, and I don't know, something hit me that it was the day before my due date, or 2 days before my due date, and I something came over me emotionally. You're getting that emotional buildup. And I remember I just felt like I needed to lay down, and I laid down on the bed and rubbed my belly and started talking to the baby directly and was like, I'm ready to be your mommy, and you can come whenever you're ready. Like I guess I realized I was ready.
Yeah.
And I felt like I needed to tell her that or something, and I took a hot shower, and an hour later my contractions started. And they were super fast, weird, nothing like what I was told. They were like...
Not textbook.
No, they're like 40 seconds apart, or whatever. 2 minutes apart, and 37 seconds, like, right out the gate. And I'm like, what the heck is this? The app's telling me to go to the hospital. And I just started having contractions. So, some of the training was a crapshoot when it came down to it. But
labor and birth is never textbook, and I tell every mom that.
Yeah.
Because, we teach it, in certain segments, and active labor, early labor, active labor, transition. I'm like, but every labor, every birth is different. It's unique, in its own.
Because I was educated and I knew it was like not normal, I had no fear. I was like, oh, it's like, I thought it was false labor again, like repeated the night before. And so again, I slept on the couch, and because what I had learned was, if your labor starts early or it's nighttime, it's early, you're in for 4 hours. If you can get some sleep, get some sleep. So I was like,
and that's what I tell everybody, right?
Not
all your appointments, go back to sleep.
Whatever, I'm good. And exactly, yeah. And so I managed to fall asleep on the couch, and I slept for 4 hours, and I woke up, and I felt like I was gonna pee and poop myself all at once, and I couldn't hold it, and then when I finally just relaxed, my water broke, and I ran to the bathroom, and my mucus plug came out right away, and then I was having an intense contraction that was like 5 times stronger than what I felt earlier when I was awake before. Woke my husband up, and it was time, and then we got here, and 3 hours later she was born. I was 8 to 9 centimeters when I got here. And I remember pulling out the parking lot and thinking, there's no way that if I'm not 6 centimeters, there's no way we're driving all the way back to Acton. We live in Acton. And yeah, so I was very relieved.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, please let me be far enough along, right?
Yeah, and
you were.
The great thing was because I had come here for all my prenatal visits. When I walked in the door and I smelled it and I saw you guys, like, it felt like I was at home. So all my fear was gone. And I remember specifically thinking, as we were pulling up to the birth center, if I had to go to the hospital right now, it would be terrifying. This pain would be so much more scary. Everything would have been so much more scary and real. That the hospital with the bright lights and just all the staff, like, it would have just turned the volume on the whole situation to full blast for me emotionally. Like, I'm an emotionally sensitive person who isn't when they're about to have a baby, but so I was so grateful when I came in here, and and then just instinct took over. Like, I knew what to do. I was kind of one of those, like, I don't really need to be touched people. I think at that point, because I was active, like, hard labor at that point.
Transitioning when you got here.
Nature took over, and I had I lost time. Felt like 20 minutes, and it was 3 hours.
I know. I remember after she was born, when you asked, you said, how long have I been here? Like, finally recouped, and that's all you were really interested in, is wanting to know, oh, how long have I been here? Yeah. And where did you birth?
I birthed in the pool, or the spa, in the jacuzzi
The tub.
yeah. And that was, again, I was like, if I had to be flat on my back, oh my gosh, this would be so much more painful. Like, gravity would have caused a lot more pain. So if you can get a buoyancy assist, I highly recommend it.
Yeah, I agree.
It's not just the calming for your muscles, it's just the buoyancy, yeah, for sure.
Right.
But because I had prepared, you know, I read a hypnobirthing book. I didn't pay to take a really long hypnobirthing class, but I took a couple of private lessons with somebody, with my husband, and I had been listening to like meditation and affirmations and stuff like that. So I knew how to relax and breathe, and you know, your body just takes over almost and makes you do that stuff anyways if you let it. And I would say the biggest thing, it was surrender. Like that was my biggest thing I focused on through all my training that I had done myself on my own.
And that is such a beautiful lesson, right? And to share.
Your body will expel the baby, just let go.
Just surrender to the process and just be one with it, right?
Yeah.
But I think with you, because you did the standard, the whole series of childbirth education here with Sarah and Rachel here that teach here. They're amazing teachers, so you get so much knowledge, right?
Oh, totally.
And then you did the hypnobirthing. And what's beautiful about the hypnobirthing is I see these moms, you learn to breathe your baby down, you know?
Right.
And you did exactly that.
I was thinking about that too during the whole time.
And you did.
I was focused on her and getting oxygen to her the whole time.
And what did she do right when she came out? How was she? How was responsive?
She cried. And
super responsive right away.
A little cough, a little bit of mucus came out, and she was perfect color and everything. And every time I checked her, her heart rate was good, and that was all like, it was me. I don't want to be kidding. Because I knew you were going to be doing that, and I wanted like a good report card, so I just like focused on the baby.
A+.
And bringing oxygen to her, and you do that by really deep, slow breathing and staying calm, you know. So it really just, nature took over, and it was the natural thing to do, but it helps to learn about it, to guide yourself, to remember to do it when you're in the moment.
And you had amazing support. Ian, her husband, oh my goodness, he's just a sweetheart, and he did not leave her side. I mean, maybe to go to the bathroom real quick or something. And just, you guys were just beautiful. Like, you know, you got your birth videoed, and being able to watch that back was probably, I saw you both watch it for the first time. I was in the room, and just both of you crying. Like, we watch it and cry, and just watching you guys become a family was really beautiful.
Oh, thank you.
It really was.
Yeah,
and
we both describe it as like just the most exciting day of our lives, you know. Yeah, for sure.
Well, we are gonna we'll focus real quick on although, you know, her pregnancy was amazing, her birth was just absolutely stunning and beautiful. We're gonna spend just a couple minutes talking on postpartum, because it's not always that perfect picture. I have a perfect pregnancy and a perfect water birth and everything's gorgeous all the time. Sometimes we can run into some challenges postpartum, and Elizabeth did. So do you want to share just a little bit about that? The way we still have some followers watching, and
for sure.
And just like what your experience was like, if you could, what that hiccup was, and how you get through it, and where that support could come from for you.
So as much as I had prepared for birth, I didn't prepare as I should have for breastfeeding. I should have taken a class, and I didn't, and it was not to any fault of anyone. It was suggested to me. I just assumed and wrote it off like it was going to be this natural, easy thing. And you know, we had a little bit of difficulty with the baby, with the way she was latching in the beginning, but as time went on, as it turned out, I don't basically I don't have the capacity to even like store enough milk compared to what she eats. I make like maybe half of what she eats, so that I never even knew about, like that was a possibility. I always thought it was about going through the pain and like the latch and stuff like that, so that was surprising to me. And it triggered, depression, because, I don't make enough milk to sustain my child. So you feel inept as like a woman. And I never heard anyone talk about that before, when I was pregnant and stuff. That you can have something that goes wrong that's out of your hands.
Right.
That's just about your anatomy and it's natural and it's not your fault. So when that time, if that should happen, it's not you, like, so that was a big process. And then she started getting nipple confusion because we had to supplement her.
So you went back and forth.
We went back and forth. And
do you want to just pause 1 second? Sorry, don't pause the video, but do you want to go around, let them in through the other door? So they can, and you can even take her back the other way. Thank you. Sorry, we have another family here that's
so we had been supplementing her, and of course she loves nursing, the best, which makes me feel great, but I would run out of milk so quickly, and then we would go give her the formula, and she just one day freaked out, and we had to make a decision to stop bringing her to the breast.
Right.
So that's weaning pretty early on, and they don't also really tell you that might happen. You might have to wean, early.
Right.
And when that happens, it can quite likely trigger extreme depression.
Right.
With such a little baby and not being able to bond with her the same way I just had yesterday. And then watching her, for her it's 2 days mourning the loss of the breast. They adapt very easily, to the bottle, and
But for you as
for
a mom,
me, it was, you're the one being weaned.
Right.
And nobody had to talk to me
Not a lot of
really
people
about
talk
that.
about that. And when we were going through that, I was there, and not a lot of women talk about that. I personally, as a midwife, when I was in my second child, I did the same thing, and I downward spiral into deep depression. But we only want to talk about the happy stuff. But there are challenges in not being able to feel like that we can provide what our bodies are supposed to provide for our baby.
The feelings of inadequacy and your self-esteem.
Like you're not a woman enough in itself, right?
And like my husband must be disappointed in me, like I'm not,
Right.
like it didn't matter that I had such a great birth and all of that, like I couldn't,
You weren't getting your A+ in that area,
right?
Because you think of it like I'm gonna meet this mark, and if you don't do so, what is that? What kind of mother are you? But I have to tell you, you handled, I know it was hard, and I watched what you were going through. But you handled it beautifully, and you really made the best decisions, I feel, along the way, like the healthiest decisions, and you kind of tried a little bit of everything to see what was right, and then if there was too many balls up in the air, you're like, what, enough's enough. Fed is best, and I told you that. Remember, I'm like, fed is best. So how can we support you? And you went through enough lactation consults with the different lactation consultants. You did the formula, and then you also got donor milk.
Right. That was a big savior for us in the early weeks when you're so scared. So luckily she had 3 solid weeks of just breast milk when she was really little, and that made us feel better. She's so brand new, you want her to have just the very, very best. So that was nice. But I've told a few people it's kind of like a triple whammy that happens to women when they have babies. It's like the overnight, totally dramatic, complete 180 life change. Your identity just being thrown out the window. Right. And then the hormone drop, and all the changes that happen in women's bodies right after the baby, plus sleep deprivation, plus lack of, hearing about these things and maybe having a chance to prepare, just at least in my circumstance. So it was hard. I got through it by the way I do with most things, just trying to educate myself. And so I'd be up in the middle of the night at 3 a.m. pumping, just searching for support online, and focusing on the fact that it was hearing, and then believing and focusing on the fact that it was temporary. Really helped, knowing that this isn't going to be forever. And so it's like 7 weeks now, and I'm feeling I'm a lot better. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, and she's growing beautifully.
Thank you.
So you know she's getting what she needs.
Yeah, we just give her as much breast milk as we can.
So you pump.
Make up
how often are you pumping a day on average?
I was in the beginning pumping every 2 to 3 hours.
Oh, yeah.
So I slept less than the baby.
She's
I get the baby up and get
healthy for healing,
right,
mentally or physically postpartum.
Yeah,
I talked about that. I'm like, just don't drive yourself crazy.
Yeah, I had a hard night and made a decision to cut the pumping like in half almost.
Okay.
Or no, not in half, but I started stretching it like a few more hours, and I seemed to be getting the same amount of milk, so I was like, score.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
Well, probably because you're dropping your cortisol levels and your anxiety and your stress too.
Yeah, so it almost was
and
a
getting
wash,
better
so
sleep.
it evened out.
Right. Yeah. So your body, could probably replenish.
I'm sure that's absolutely true.
Yeah.
Sleep and stress are a big part of breast milk. Yeah.
And our mental well-being, and and then we're all connected. It's that it's that mind, body, spirit connection. If something's off in one area, it will trigger everything else to go as well. And she feels you being healthier as well, right? Like
for sure,
mentally and physically.
I'm better rested. Exactly. We do better because they feed off your energy.
They do.
Yeah. But doing a lot better,
Yeah.
And I do want to say, like, to talk about the dark stuff it doesn't like diminish the joy. Like at the same time I'm going through all of that, or I was going through all of that, I'm also experiencing the most love and the most joy like I ever have in my life. Like it's not black and white like that. It's not one or the other. Like it's both. And so I think a lot of moms feel pressure to be strong and represent the good side, and it's it's important to talk about both. Yeah, for sure.
The journey, the journey in itself, right? Because there can be struggles and joy at the same time, and as you said, light and dark on all of it. But I thank you for talking about it openly, because you're right. It is even postpartum depression, as it is staying by itself and not necessarily a result of breastfeeding, concern or problem. It's the awareness needs to be brought forward, and the more women that talk about it, the more women are going to be able to get support, and have somebody to be able to go and talk to. So, and I think that's maybe why this happened to you, because I'm telling you right now that you are going to be that pillar for some mom that's going through this very situation that you've gone through at some point, and be able to just have all those right things to say, all the right resources, and love her, because that's kind of, I think, why lessons come our way, and you educated yourself, and you will be, and maybe that's where your journey starts going. Maybe you're amazing with talking to people and caring. So who knows? Maybe you have a lactation journey ahead of you, or an education and awareness. Yeah.
Letting go of perfect, that's.
Isn't that the journey of parenthood?
Yeah. Every day I try to be more present, and not, nothing will make you feel that more than a baby, I feel like, but trying not to miss the memories and like that of the moment right now. She'll never be this little again, and that other dark stuff will pass, but I don't want to miss out. So yes, having just maybe heard about it or something might have been all I needed to maybe suffer a little less. So like knowledge is
very
power.
powerful.
Yeah, for sure.
But I love that. I love hearing how healthy you come through this.
Thank you.
And
I had the right support and birthing family.
Oh, thank you. And you're right. It's not about being perfect. There's no perfect birth journey.
Right.
And
I remember you saying that about my story, that like, well, you can't have it all. You had a great birth. Now we all have to have something.
A midwife told me that a really, really long, over a decade or maybe 15 years ago. She's like, you know what, Tiffany? Can't have it all. And I'm like, what? She goes, you can't have the perfect pregnancy, the perfect birth, and a perfect breastfeeding postpartum experience. You watch. There's always going to be a hiccup somewhere. And I'm like, I didn't like that when I heard that. And then I kind of do see, like, why? Because there's got to be a lesson, somewhere, or in the growth. And us as women being able to share our journey, and if everything was always perfect, how are we going to grow and educate, right?
Yeah, that was a big proof for me. Because the reality is, she's doing great.
Right.
She's happy.
Yeah.
So why
she is.
shouldn't I just enjoy that and stop being so, sad or overly focused on things?
Right. Well, thank you, Elizabeth, for sharing your story. We love you.
We love you too.
We love you, little miss.
Yeah, we'll be back.
Yeah. In a little while. Give it a little while.
Like 3 years. Yeah.
Thank you for joining us here on Pure Birth Live, and we hope to see some comments in there. Let us know if you guys have any questions, and we thank you again for
You're welcome.
being a part of our Pure Birth family, and we love you guys.
I love you too.
Okay, bye guys.
Bye bye.